Hey guys, Lev here from Agilite. Today I'm going to be showing you how I set up a Magnetix Battle Belt for an urban raid. Let's jump right into it. First step, Magnetix Battle Belt. Here's the Magnetix Battle Belt, inner and outer belt together. One of the biggest advantages of the Magnetix belt is that the inner belt is a very functional, fully capable EDC inner belt that's not going to give you any compromises, so you can wear this day to day. As opposed to some inner belts that are kind of a little bit more floppy, maybe just have a little bit of a Velcro overlap. When we were researching and when we were planning this belt, most serious people want to have an inner belt that functions as their EDC belt. And that's kind of one of the main advantages of a Velcro belt system, which is that you can be always wearing the inner belt and you just pop on the outer belt and suddenly you've up armored, you're ready to go, you're carrying your gear on you, right? So that was super important, and it was super important for us to make sure that it functions first and foremost, the inner belt, as an EDC belt, right? So this is a serious belt. It has an ultra stiff foam on the inside that's gonna conform to the shape of your body and really break in to fit the shape of your hips. It has a stiffened member that goes into this section, and that's gonna give you rigidity through the front for your appendix carry. When you're drawing, re-indexing, or just carrying it throughout the day, it's gonna be supporting that weight nicely because that weight is being distributed all the way around. So that's that over here. Also, we have this nifty feature over here, high on my list of nifty features, and that's just having this stretch element over here that's gonna let you breathe, let you get a little fat, let you, go to a Thanksgiving meal, eat everything you can stuff into your mouth and still be ready to respond to a threat without having to adjust your belt. Over here in the back, we have the magnets. Those correspond to the magnets on the outer belt. Now the outer belt has also a stiffening feature that goes across the front, but this feature is unique in that it's also laser cut moly, which means that whatever size you make this belt, you're never gonna be stuck with a section that doesn't have moly. So even as I expanded over here, this moly is now available. If I expand it even more to a larger size, so now this moly, and this moly are also available, and I can weave around this strap and I'm good to go. Obviously the masterpiece of this belt, or the key feature in my opinion, is gonna be the fast alignment, and that's just having these magnets that let it align to the belt, stick on, lets you quickly put it on, wiggle, wiggle, click, close it up, and you're good to go. Without having to look down and feel it or readjust. Suddenly your holster used to be here, now it's here, used to be here, now it's here. No more, my friend. Now click, you're good to go. I'm gonna put the inner belt to the side for now. Let's start loading up the outer belt. So when you wanna put a holster onto the outer belt, the first thing you're gonna do is take off the male piece of the Cobra buckle. If you're worried about losing this, just click it into the female end. Now I have a much thinner appendage here that I can insert through my holster. This holster is by US Duty Gear. Great holster, fits my Bull EDC perfectly. Super rugged, super durable. I actually opted to mount it directly instead of using like a detachable holster mount, just because I don't really have any other duty holsters. I just use this one, so I have no need to be switching between. So to get this in the right position, I'm actually gonna put it on over my belt, and then I can just wiggle it around and get it to the exact right spot. Click it on, and then put it over here, and then I can start to see, is this where I want it? So, I'm not really worried about the end right here or anything else. All I want to know is this the spot that I want my holster, right? So, is that good? Or do I want to move it over a little bit? Maybe back a little bit like that. I like it better a little bit farther forward. This for me is a good spot, so I'm gonna keep it right here. Now, what I like to do, just to make sure it's not going anywhere, is I'll take a zip tie, and then I'm just gonna, so make sure this doesn't wiggle around ever again. I'm going to just zip tie that on there. So I'm gonna start over there. Okay, there we go, got it through. Now what this is gonna do is just gonna limit how much this mount. Now if you have a different mount, if you have like a True North holster mount or something like that, it's gonna be bolted on, you're not gonna have this issue at all. With this particular mount, it's just a little bit easier to just zip tie it, and that's it. So then take a little tiny knife and trim that nicely. Make sure there's no sharp edges that are gonna hurt you, and you're good to go. My baby. You don't need to keep that in. I kiss everything in the videos. All right, now we got the holster set up. Let's build everything else out around it. So let's start with the pistols over here. I'm gonna do the first one angled like that, and let me show you guys how to do that. I've seen a little bit of confusion on this subject. I've seen some people who are thinking that maybe in order to put on a pincer mag angled, you need to have a special adapter. It's a different pouch. It's not, guys. It's just not. It's the same pouch. I'll show you. This says micro moly on the back, but there's no law on this green earth saying that you need to use every single row of the micro moly as it was intended, right? So you can just pop this first one into here, and then instead of saying, okay, I'm going up and down, so I'm gonna go over one, under two, over one, and that's it, I'm saying, nah, I don't care. I'm going over two and under one, just so I have something pinning it in the middle. And then that gives me a little bit of flexibility. And now I can go under this one as well. Sometimes if you're ever having trouble with anything that has moly on it, getting under the moly, just bend it back towards you a little bit and it'll pop right up. So now I'm here at an angle. Now all I need to worry about is how I finish it off, right? So I'm just gonna go through the last one that I can, which is this one over there. Pull it tight, and then flip it around and push that end back through all the moly. And that's it. I'm locked in. So now I have a pouch that's here at an angle. It's canted. I can grab it quickly and easily. And now if I want to do a reload over here, I can just quickly grab it, go right in. So it's super convenient for that. I love canted pouches. Got one, let's put on another one. So I don't want this one too close. I don't want them bumping into each other, and I don't want this magazine getting caught on this one. So I'll put it right over here. Now this one isn't gonna impede it, and as soon as this one is out, it's gonna be super easy to get to this one. So this one is gonna attach right on over here. I have a choice here. With micro moly, you always have a choice, right? I could, if I wanted to, mount it higher. In this case, there's no reason for me to mount it higher. I wanna mount it as low as possible. So I'm gonna, go through the first one, just like that. And again, just that little thumb press there, and suddenly the moly pops up, and my life just got so much easier, right? So I'm going through that first one. Now, this is 25 millimeters, or 1 inch, right? This is a full moly increment, so I'm gonna go through 2 over here. And also here, I can just kind of manipulate it a little bit until something pops up, and then it gets much easier. Pro tip, when you're setting up your belt, just put it on after every pouch. Make sure it's what you were imagining, what you were hoping for. Make sure it meets all your expectations. There's that first canted pouch. Here's that second one. And now, just like before, I can hit that first reload, and then over here, now that this one is empty, my hand can very easily swing by, find that second one. Basically, I can't see my belt when I'm wearing it because I have a plate carrier over here, right? So I'm just going off of muscle memory. So I'm dropping my hand down over here, smacking that first mag, coming out with it, right? After that mag, I'm doing the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. I need another emergency reload. Bring my hand down, smacking the first mag that it finds, and doing that one. And you're not gonna be having any issues with your legs hitting the mags. This one is far enough to the side, and this one is canted, which is gonna give you all-day comfort if you're sitting on the floor. So I'm set for pistol mags. Now let's throw on some rifle mags. So rifle mags are gonna go right up, butted up against the pistol mags, because I grab them in a different way. My hand is finding them differently. They're not gonna get in the way. I can push them up here, and that'll preserve a good amount of real estate. So take this guy back off. And I'm gonna say, rifle mag, 2 like that. These pouches are our new multi-caliber line. These accept 5.56. These also accept 7.62 by 39 and 5.45 AK mags. They accept Galil mags. They do not yet accept 308. If you guys want us to make a 308 version, let us know down below. Pincer singles come with a divider, just like the Pincer placard, which lets you run dual pistol mags if you want, or move it over and run some sort of odd-shaped PCC mag. I don't need these, so I'm gonna be taking them out, but obviously, keep them, protect them, put them in your safe. And I do know a couple guys who basically run one pistol mag and then one of these, and then if they're doing just pistol shooting, they'll put in the divider and have 3 pistol mags. If they're doing rifle shooting, they'll take out the divider and have 1 pistol mag, 1 rifle mag. I'm just gonna be mounting this straight on right over here. Nothing special, nothing fancy, just going hard, just mauling, I got the 2 Pincer single multi-calibers on, and again, like always, I'm just gonna pop it on, test it out. All right, pistol mag, rifle mag, just like that. Now I have easy access to any of these that I want. Easy re-indexing with the patented pincer mechanism over here, and super fucking durable, so I can smash my way back in if I can't find it. Now I'm gonna throw on an MD2 in the back. I'm gonna find a place to put my toe pouch for a flashbang. So I'm gonna put the MD2, yeah, I'm gonna put the MD2 over here. I'm gonna put this guy right there. And just to make this a little easier, I'm gonna take out contents just so the whole thing's a little floppier as I'm attaching it. All right, so I'm going to attach this with Molly. If you're attaching MD2 to a battle belt, Molly is going to be your best option. You do have a belt pass-through, but that's more relevant if you're putting it onto an inner belt, just because if I mount this on here through the belt pass-through means I have to take everything off on this side to put it on, and then if I decide I don't want it or want to take it off, now I have to take everything back off. It just makes a lot more sense to just Molly it on, and then you still have, you know, maximum Velcro connection on the inside. Nothing to see here, just your everyday Mollying. So I got that in there. And then over here, gonna put that flashbang my toe pouch. Gonna put it, I'm wondering, I'm just kind of simulating the curve this is gonna have on me, because I wanna have enough room to get the IFAK out easily. Don't want this to get in the way of here. I think this is a fine, this is as fine a place as any. So, so I filled up my MD2 with all my medical contents on the inside. Now I'm just gonna pop it in. Really straightforward putting an MD2 in. You just make sure that the letters are facing outwards and up and are readable, and that's it. You just pop it in. And then just a matter of closing up the Velcro and you're good to go, right? Now I know that when I pull it, it's opening up and it's coming out. Now I'm gonna open up this so that I can expand out the tourniquet holder a little bit, and I'm gonna throw a cat right into there. And think about what direction I want it from. I want it from the left hand. Got my tourniquet over there, ready to go. Let me put an inert dummy flash bag into here. And now throw this on, make sure it all works, see if I need to move anything around. All right, seems pretty good. Unimpeded draw over here. Good access to mags. Nice and easy. Flashbang over here, I can get to it. It would be nice to have a flashbang on the left side, but I just have so much going on the left side over here. I could theoretically move the MD2 over from the middle and put the flashbang over here, but I like having the MD2 in the middle so that it's equally accessible with my left hand or with my right hand. And if I'm wounded and I'm lying on my back and someone rolls me over, they never have to roll me past halfway in order to get to it. Whereas if I move it over to this side and I'm lying on my back, they might have to keep rolling me all the way over onto my stomach to get to the MD2. So right in the center of the back is the best space for it. And I'm all set up. I'm ready to rock and roll. If you're a larger size of battle belt, you'll have a little bit more Velcro in the front, and then you could put on also a tourniquet pouch under here like that, like right over there. Or if you're not running a pistol over here, you have plenty of room on this side also to take care of that. So that's always an option as well. So if you want to, you could put over here also a frag grenade pouch mollied onto, half onto the belt, half onto the curve stiffening tongue over here. Personally, for an urban raid for me, I'm not carrying frag grenades, but that fits here nicely, and that also is gonna be small items that don't impede it. So this space in the front is a good space to put things that aren't gonna be hanging down and jabbing into you, especially if you've ever been in real urban combat scenario, like where you're gonna be in a house with no furniture, you're gonna be sitting on the floor like this or like this for hours basically at some point. And if you have stuff here that's uncomfortable on your belt, it's gonna be cutting off circulation. It's gonna be cutting the nerves in your leg and causing a lot of pain and discomfort, and you'll quickly move everything around and can't anything you can. Last thing, how could I possibly forget? You can tuck the end of your webbing under this elastic bit right there. That's what that's for. Tuck it under like that. Now it's sorted. Additionally, you do have stitches here. So these stitches are so that you can take scissors and cut. Say you're at the smallest size and you have a lot of excess, you can just cut at any segment you want after the stitch, not before it. The stitch is there so that it doesn't all unravel, and then you can just burn it with a lighter. This is my setup. Next step, obviously, is to go train with it. Go hit the range, make sure everything works perfectly, make sure that my reloads here are slick and fast, make sure it works well with the plate carrier, because the whole thing is a system, right? Let me know what you do differently on your belt setup. If there's anything you think I should try out and change, hit me up down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, obviously not too safe. We've been over this a million times. If you don't, give yourself the opportunity to fail, if you don't face plant in the mud, you're never gonna experience the joy of washing off the mud. I don't know. This dude, I have no idea where I'm going when I start these fucking sentences.